Hey FlossTube, this is Apple from Who's Your Apple X Stitch in Massachusetts. Coming back for FlossTube number 20. Just in case you're wondering, I did have a FlossTube 19 up, but it appears that the powers that be have taken it down. And after doing some research, I discovered that I had mentioned a few hot button words that are going on in the world recently. And according to what I read online, they don't have enough physical eyes to look at the videos to see if they're appropriate or not. So if you hit enough of those buzzwords, the video just comes down. I had put it up on April 8th, which was my 50th birthday. So I'm kind of sad my birthday video came down. But this is, just so you're wondering, this is what was said in my last video. But I'm not going to say it. I have flashcards. So what I had said was that my husband and I had planned to go on vacation and it was because we were going to stay at was under, due to, and that made me. So that is why my video apparently was taken down by the powers that be. Regardless, it is what it is. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go again. You never know what the future may bring. So anyways, get that out of the way. Let's get on to what's going on now. WIP update. I have, let's see, I have 2 of my current WIPs that I was working on, but I have lots more. I had 4 finishes, and I've got a couple new starts. So the first one I was working on is Stitchin' Mommy, the temperature tree. I added in April, so I'm up to 4 months. And I think it's coming out beautifully. I am stitching this on Color and Cotton 18 count pewter hand-dyed data. It's beautiful. I've been waiting until like the month is over and then just doing a whole month at a time because it's a pretty quick stitch. Let's see what else we've got. I also worked a little bit on 99 by Ink Circles. It's on Picture This Plus Ale in 16 count. I think we all know what this looks like, right? With all the 99 beer bottles. I made a little progress, we'll say. I didn't make a lot of progress. I think I added in like 3 more bottles. Oh goodness. You'd think I'd be more prepared, wouldn't you? Oops. See now, look at that. I'm cutting off some bottles. Can you see that? So I now have 15 bottles. I have a long way to go. But it's fun. I'm enjoying it. Up next, I have 3 new starts. This is a pattern that, goodness gracious, actually it's a whole kit. And I wish that I could tell you where I got it, but I've had it for so long I don't know. As y'all know, I love the Tudors. And I love Hampton Court. I've been there a couple of times. So this pattern is by SR Collections. It looks like Queensland, Australia, called Hampton Court Palace. I'm going to stitch it on. Well, I started it. Picture This Plus Helix 18 count. It's actually a very small piece. It's a lot smaller than I anticipated, but I'm enjoying working on it. I've done pretty good. I've got a decent start on it. In true Apple fashion, I have done the border around Hampton Court Palace. That's how big it's going to be. Pretty small. You see I got the Tudor Rose needle minder. So that's fun. I'm enjoying that. Oh, there's the bag. Be helpful if I kept it all together, huh? Up next, I have, oh no, you know what? I do have a new start here that I want to show you. This is like the one I'm obsessed with at the moment. I don't know if you've seen it. It's Salem. It's called Salem 1692, about the ladies who were accused of being witches and hung in Salem, and it's by Rovaris. I'm doing it in the call for threads, so it does call for DMC 310, and it calls for Romy Creations Black Tulip, which is kind of like a purpley, gray, blackish mix. And I'm doing this on what I thought was an appropriate fabric. It's Picture This Plus. I think it was the fabric of the month maybe last month, called Heroic, because these ladies were heroic, I think. And this is my start on it. I'm loving doing this. I actually love Salem. My husband and I went there last summer for a day, and we'd been there before, but it's just such a beautiful town and such a rich history in it. And so that's my current new favorite project to be working on right now. Up next, I have, let's see. Well, now this one was a new start / new finish, all since I filmed last time. This was my birthday chart. This was the birthday chart. It was my birthday start. And it's called Amish Alphabet by From the Heart. And where I grew up in Indiana, there was quite an Amish presence. And so this reminds me of home. And it's not a very big piece. And I don't know. Let's see what I don't know what I did this on, so I apologize. Off the top of my head, it's like, you know, gone. You know how it is, right? You start things and you forget, and if you don't write it down. Okay, I did this on 28 count Jade Lugana. But to be honest with you, I don't know where the fabric is from. I really have no idea. But it's pretty small. It's really cute. I don't know if the light is picking it up or not, but there's these beautiful little motifs in the corners. In person, you can see it quite nicely, but it didn't seem to be showing up on camera quite as well. But I loved it. That was a new start. Loved that. That was so much fun, and it was a quick stitch, really. Up next, I have, so that was an FO. I've got 3 more. I have got, let me see here. Oh goodness, let me find it. Hobbit menu. Because you know that I love the Lord of the Rings and I love the Hobbit. And this is an FO. I've got this finished. You can't really see breakfast at the top in yellow. I think what I might go back in and do is maybe backstitch the word breakfast a little bit. Maybe in orange or maybe a darker yellow, just to kind of pop it a little. But I plan to get this framed and then hang it in my kitchen. And that was a fun stitch. My next FO is called Sheep in Love. And, goodness, I'm a mess today. I'm so sorry. And it's by Kana and Elan on 32 count Storm Lugana. Picture This Plus. And honestly, I literally stitched this from stash. Like, I had the fabric in my stash, and I just used the colors that I had in my stash, so my fancy flosses. This is supposed to be, the pattern was, let me show you. Isn't this the cutest thing ever? Okay, put this here. We all use our, right? Use it as a shelf. This one was supposed to be this color, which is like a dark grayish black. And then all these 3 were supposed to be little white sheeps. But there's so many beautiful sheep out there that I decided I would just make them all different colors. I'm actually going to send this to my oldest brother's wife. She asked me if she could have it because her sister raises sheep. And so she thought it'd be cute to get it framed and give it to her sister. And I'm happy to pass it along. And then, oh my goodness. You know, I have my little Yorkie Aussie that I love dearly. For Christmas, my husband got me the Yorkie pattern. The pattern's actually simply just called Pet. But it was a DMC kit kind of thing, but it was all in Russian, so I couldn't really, I don't know what the company was, but it was kitted with DMC colors, and it was kitted with like, whatever their standard fabric is. And so I started this January 1st and I finished it April 15th, tax day. Look how cute. Now, the little Yorkie had a pink bow because it was a girl, apparently. But my little Yorkie's a boy and he always has a top knot. So what I actually did was I converted into some blue fancy flosses that I had. So it would look a little more like my Yorkie Ozzy. So that's done. That's exciting. I think I'm going to have that framed as well. Okay, so it's going in my framing pile. But I feel like I'm not alone in this. I always want to get these things framed, but I never do. I do occasionally. I have ideas of getting them framed. It just doesn't quite pan out. Okay, so what else do I have here on my list? I had been looking for a particular pattern for a while, and I thought I had found it. And as it turns out, it was no longer being sold, and it was like, it was still on a site's website. One of my stitchy friends that I met at StitchCon, Gable Stitcher, realized that on one of the stash unloading sites on Facebook, that the pattern was for sale, and I snagged it. So thank you, Amy Gables. And it's lavender and lace. It's Enchanted Alphabet. Let me turn this down. I don't think I haven't opened it, so try not to get a glare. It is just beautiful. I don't know if you can really see that. It's a very tiny picture. But that's on my, I would like to stitch sooner rather than later list, to be honest. It's beautiful. It's kind of my unicorn. So, and then what happens when you find a unicorn, right? Do you have to then put another unicorn kind of in your little list? Or can you just be happy? I don't know. Maybe I'll find something else that I'll add to the list. Who knows? And then one of the other ladies in my little stitching group that I met at StitchCon, Lynn M. Stitches. So she has a FlossTube channel. You should definitely check her out. She is a doll, and she's very sweet. Since StitchCon this year has been canceled, we won't get to meet up at StitchCon. So she made us, in our little, there's like a little group of 5. She made some needle minders, and I think she's actually going to start selling needle minders. So you might want to watch for her videos and such. So A for apple, a beautiful little ladybug. I'm going to call it my stitchy bug. And then our little group around the table, we're all quite introverted. So she made us a little stitchy introverts needle minder. And it's such a wonderful surprise. You know, things like this just come in the mail and it's like, it totally made my day. So I want to say thank you to Lynn for thinking of me and all of our little stitchy group and sending us such sweet needle minders. Let's see what else. Plans. Do I have plans? I don't really have plans, but just a stitch. I pulled out my sewing machine the other day. I relearned to thread the sewing machine and realized that I am incredibly untalented at winding the bobbin. So I actually got a small little bobbin winder. And so I'm hoping that when I get the courage again, I'm just going to start like sewing the edges of my fabric. I used to be a taper, you know, put the taper on it. I haven't done that in quite some time, but then it like frays off. So on this, like I'll show you on this one here, I've been kind of stitching the edge sometimes by hand, which is not bad. I mean, you can do it. I did it. So obviously you can do it. But it would be so much quicker and efficient if I could just zip along with my sewing machine. What you doing, baby? There's nobody out there. He thinks someone is here. Hold, please. Well, I'm back, and I don't think you've met my Ozzy. Can you say hi, Ozzy? You get mama's baby? Oh. Do you want down? Okay. There you go. Anyways, that's about all that I have now. I did pick up a, you know what? I did order a stand, a lap stand from Velky Patoki in the Ukraine. It's one that Teresa Little Stitcher demoed. I'll show it to you. And I've been able to use it. It's pretty easy. It's a pretty simple frame. I actually I glued a needle minder on the end, frankly. see here, check this out. You can tighten this down. This tightens. It doesn't look like a hoop would fit here, like a hoop, but it does because it catches on the, oh, what do you call it? I use a tension hoop, so it catches on the tension. And it's great. This goes down. It makes a nice, it fits a Q-snap clearly. But I like that you can adjust the height. You know, you can twist this whatever angle that you want. But other than that, it's nice and compact. And I've used it both at my desk and my lab a few times. I haven't really used it a whole lot yet, but as of right now, I'm loving it. Let's see what else. I guess that's about it for me. Just kind of hanging out. Not a lot that we can do now. I mean, I'm in Massachusetts. Today we're going to find out if they're going to start phasing the opening of Massachusetts. I believe they're probably going to start slowly. We'll see what happens. I'm not in any great anxious to get out there, frankly. I'm a severe asthmatic, so I'm kind of in the higher risk category. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. But I also understand the need to want to get out there because this new norm is completely different than anything we've ever experienced, I think, in most of our lifetimes. And hopefully it's not something we'll ever have to go through again. So anyways, that's it for me. Everybody, please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you on the next go-round.